subjects, which was three ideas for success, which I thought when I was coming here, well, actually, I don't think I'm not Steve Jobs or Bill Gates or a business management consultant, so I'm not quite sure how entitled I am to preach success to you. So I asked our head of communications what she would answer, and she said, well, from a corporate point of view.
Oh, sure. You have to push it out.
Hello? Yeah. From a corporate point of view, she said, well, what I would say is some ideas for success in to climb up the corporate ladder is say please, say thank you, never say no, and always tell the boss everything's going fantastically well. So, as a boss in my own way, actually, I thought that wasn't a bad recipe for climbing up the ladder. I think I might skip that actually.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah. But anyway, so I as it happens, SocGen very kindly sent me on a leadership seminar recently, and there was various speakers there, including Clive Woodward, the ex-rugby England rugby manager. Very good row of speakers. But one guy in particular said something to me which I thought it struck a chord with me, and he talked about why people aren't successful actually, and then from that why people are successful. And he said that in the current changing business environment that people are more stressed, executives and leaders are more stressed than ever, and he said that it is estimated, and I've no idea how they get to this statistic, but it is estimated that senior executives in business or running companies know less than 10% of the solutions to the problems they face because of the changing environment. They're not in control of their own destiny, but they have to pretend that they do. They know they don't, the people that work for them know they don't, but they have to pretend that they do. And this leads to sort of a charade where everybody goes around with this idea, and it leads to people being highly stressed, running around, being busy fools, and not actually achieving what they want to do. So he said from that actually what he recommended as a key to success, but it sounds pretty obvious, and I hesitate to say it, since it's rather teaching grandmother to suck eggs, but he said that what is really key is to focus. Successful people are those people that are able to focus on what's important rather than what's urgent or what's hitting you across the desk at that particular moment. And that struck a chord with me. I see lots of people that spend their days doing emails. I get very suspicious when somebody says to me, I get 500 emails a day. I think, well, actually, that's not a good thing. That's not an indication of how successful you are. It's an indication of how you're failing to get on top of what you're trying to do. And what this guy said was that focus on what's important. And he also said from that, which I really liked, he said, actually, I think that most executives and senior people work too hard. And I know in our environment where sort of presenteeism and competition to be seen, it's very hard to do this. But he said he felt that most people could cut down their time or gain 20% of their life, that's a day a week, he was saying, without any impact on their productivity by focusing on what's important and taking a step back on what they do. And he said in the long term that leads to sort of better health, better productivity, better relationships, less stress, and that gains for the individual but also the company. So I like that idea. I've tried, not very good at it, but I thought that was a very good thing to follow. The other thing I was going to talk about was networking. Wherever you go, everybody says that networking is very important. That's why we're all here tonight. Personally, I'm not very good at networking. I don't do it very often, but I think what is important about it is how you do it. And again, it's a bit like the email idea. I get slightly worried about people that have sort of 5,000 LinkedIn connections and go around collecting corporate cards, etc. I think with networking, what's more important, I think those sort of networks for me are slightly brittle and shallow and not long lasting. And for me, what's been more valuable in my career is focusing on where I want to work with people, or people want to work with me, not necessarily in the same industry, but people that I can trust and that trust me, and we build up a mutual framework of respect and trust that lasts a long time. So to me, networking is key, but it's not about numbers, it's about who you know and working with them. I've only got 5 minutes and I've probably used about 4.5 of them. The last thing I was going to say was about just one comment, which I think Saskia and Tim are going to speak about a bit more, which was about working with high net worth individuals, which I guess all of us in this room do to one degree or another. And we're very lucky working in our industry. You know, high net worth individuals go to nice places, they live in nice houses, they eat in nice restaurants, they have nice possessions. And one thing I've noticed, at least in banking, I wouldn't want to speak for my colleagues in the law or anywhere else, but at least I've seen amongst our bankers that there can be a tendency for people to get sucked into that, and a lot of the bankers I've seen sort of think, well, actually I could quite get used to this lifestyle. And I think with high net worth clients you have to maintain a professional distance. Our relationships with our clients must obviously be based on respect and trust, but that's sort of slightly motherhood and apple pie. But I do worry sometimes when I see our bankers sort of trying to take the relationship one stage further and almost become friends with the clients. And in my experience, clients don't want new friends. They want a relationship, as I say, that's based on professionalism and trust and experience, that's friendly and competent and professional and amicable, but not friends. And I think I try to manage our bankers at Hambros in a way that sort of maintains a degree of intimacy yet maintains a distance. Maybe the clients don't want to be friends with me, I don't know, but I think it's more that there is we're putting a lot of people. It's quite an unnatural industry in some ways. We're putting a lot of people in contact with people that are in a very, very elevated position in society in terms of what they've got and who they mix with. And that's where dangers can happen. So I would encourage everybody to maintain that distance. I think I've used my time. Thank you very much.